We're good. So welcome back to another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Hey, Anthony Trewick.
You're listening to the Unframe of Mind show, the place to have the most mind-stretching, unprotected, intellectual intercourse of your life. Your hosts battle the forces of evil by lobbing fiery balls of truth, reason, and evidence over safe room walls.
All right.
What's up, homie?
Right. So I asked,
good to be back in the studio. It's been a while.
I asked you here today because I was replacing a part on my car.
Okay.
And while I'm there at the scrapyard, which is where I had to go get the part because the local part store didn't have it at all, I peek in the window of this little truck, this little Ford Ranger that I was pulling the part from, and I peek in the window, and behind the seat, I catch a glimpse of a little notebook. Okay. So this little notebook right here.
Now, mind you, this is the first time I've even seen it. I literally walked into the studio.
Yeah.
You said, hey, I want to read this to you. And you said it's only 2 pages.
Right. So check this out.
I guess apparently it's...
I find this little notebook, and I'm just going to give you kind of my experience so far.
Okay.
I open it up, and I start reading.
Okay.
And I did a quick flip through, and I noticed there's only 2 entries. There's entry 1, entry 2, and then on the third page it says entry 3. But entry 3 is blank, right? So I was like, all right. And I flipped through the rest of the book, and there's nothing here. Like, the entire book is completely blank, right?
That's crazy.
And I start reading this first entry, and as I'm reading it, I am immediately sucked into whatever this person's world is. I don't know what is going on.
Okay.
And by the time I finished reading it, I had forgotten that I was standing in the middle of a scrapyard. I was like transported. I'm like, what? Because it left me with so many questions.
Was it just their writing ability, or was it the details of whatever it is that's
the details,
written?
Yeah, the details.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and start reading it to you, so you can kind of experience some of this with me here. But the writing appears to be it's very chicken scratchy. It's very rough writing.
Okay.
It's hard to read it, but I think I've got the gist of it for sure. So here's entry 1. Okay. I was talking to Maggie about how I didn't like my mom, and she said she could get rid of her by one of her friends, as she told me that she has friends in low places and that she could get them to kill my mom. My mom dying and her dead body getting by pigs. I think it meant rid of by pigs. And then there's a line in the middle of it, so as if to break this thought apart. The look on your face already, you're like, what?
Do you think this was written from maybe like a teenager, or...
I got a feeling it might have been a teenager, maybe a female teenager, younger, on the lower end of the teenage scale. The handwriting looks to be something like maybe...
very poor.
It's poor handwriting, which could be... It could be because of the terrible situation this person's come up in. They're not really...
They want to kill their mom.
Yeah, but I'm just like... Just mentioning how she didn't like her mom. And it didn't necessarily say she wanted to kill her mom. It was just writing in here that her friend mentioned that she has friends in low places, and if she would like, she could get rid of my mom for me.
It's like some mafia shit, dude.
I'm like, this got dark so fast. Like
quick and fast,
imagine you get this notebook, right? You get this notebook, and the first thing you think to write in entry 1 is about how your friend has the ability to have your mom removed from your life.
Whacked.
Like, what the fuck? All right, so it goes on. It goes on. It says, I'm so afraid to get out of the house. Then I go to my doctor in... I can't read this. Okay, so I go...
Let me say it.
I'm so afraid to get out of the house. Then I go to my doctor in... and that's the word rare. In something.
Something...
By stream or something?
I don't know. Maybe it's a town or a...
Maybe y'all can...
It might be some sort of location.
Okay, so yeah, it might have been a location. Okay, because my dad lives there, and I don't like him no more for all he has put me through. This was the second thought on entry 1.
So apparently both parents are pretty disturbed.
Yeah. something apparently. Now, honestly, this could be just I'm a pissed off teenager. I hate my parents.
Well, let me ask you this: so the vehicle that you found it in, right? Was it wrecked?
It didn't appear to be. I didn't look. I know the bed was missing or was already off, so somebody might have just pulled it apart. I don't know. So after I read it, I went around kind of thinking. My first thought was, "Oh my God, I want to search the rest of this vehicle to find more of this story. Like I want to know more. Like what happened to this person?
Kind of like the detective side of you came out.
And no sooner did I have the thought that I was getting ready to search this whole vehicle that I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna find anything. There's no way. I'm just not even gonna worry about it.
Okay.
This is just one of those things. I just got to be content with the amount of story.
But you know this is local though, right?
I have no idea. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you went to the scrap yard here locally, so obviously this has to be within.
And there's no telling. I guess I could. I mean, if I wanted to go so far as to try to investigate it, I could figure out, hey, who brought this vehicle in? How long have you had this vehicle at the junkyard?
I would have asked.
I'm not that dedicated.
Well, I mean, I kind of would be, only because it's inciting some sort of criminality as far as having their parents. Well, at least one of them,
Yeah, so she's like, yeah, my friend can kill my mom, and I don't like my dad. Well, I don't want to go to the doctor on that side of town because I don't like my dad.
What if we end up hearing this on the news? This would be. Oh my god!
Oh my god! You are not kidding. All right, so that's the end of entry 1. Okay, I'm only halfway through the entire book here.
So, does this kind of put us as an accessory to what possibly could be potentially a murder if it did happen?
I don't think so. There's no identifying details here. There's no names except for Maggie. This person, Maggie, that's her friend. Apparently, I'm honestly even going so far as to assume it's a female.
Okay.
I don't know. There's no way to tell.
That's crazy. Dude.
It could be a boy.
You're assuming gender. Don't do that.
I am. I absolutely am. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know too many dudes that sit there and start journaling their dark thoughts.
Yeah.
They just kind of act rather than.
It seems like more of a female kind of thing.
It seems like a feminine type of quality. So here we go. Ready for entry number 2? All right, entry 2. I think my dad is the reason for most of my problems, and that he has isolated me and tried to hurt my feelings. In the long run, I think that my ED is caused by, I think ED is eating disorder. So you don't have to think too hard on it. I'm pretty sure based on the rest of what's here. But okay, I think that my eating disorder is caused by that my dad has treated me, and the way that I felt like I was in control was by eating when I wanted to and not when I felt sad. Mad or unhappy with myself. I wish that my dad understood that I love him and that he can't treat me that way, that he can't be a mean man and get away with it.
Wow.
That's the end of entry 2.
I kind of wonder when this was written. Like if it was written in the last 2 years, everybody was kind of going through or struggling with certain things during this pandemic, and possibly maybe they were struggling with something. I mean, you found that more parents were spending time with their children during this pandemic because either people were working from home or kids were being homeschooled or, the situations with the school at that time. So it kind of makes me wonder if, I don't know, man.
So I'm sitting here thinking, this brand Unplug, like there's enough small details here that maybe if somebody was diligent enough, they could maybe figure it out. Because I mean, like you have this notebook here,
right?
It's got a design, it's got a name of the company, and you can almost contact the company and say, "Hey, when did you run this design on your notebooks?"
Yeah, but it could have been on the shelves for a while.
It could have been, and it could have been something that's been at this person's house for a long time. So that doesn't really tell me much, but. We can find out when the vehicle was brought to the junkyard. But again, I feel like it based on everything on my plate already, I've already got enough to worry about. But if anybody else is watching this and would be interested in trying to investigate this further,
I kind of wonder, it seems like we're kind of reading the mindset of a child and what they're currently going through.
Yeah, and an overweight child, I would assume.
Well, no. I mean, you could have kids that have a eating disorder that are very thin. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what they're going through, but
I'm going to make a jump here. I'm going to assume that this child has been through some counseling.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't know how many younger kids would be using the acronym ED to describe their or be this in touch with what's going on in their minds. Like it feels like the way they use the words when I felt sad, mad, or unhappy with myself. There's a lot. There's some hints in there that point to some kind of counseling has been given to this child in some form or fashion.
I mean, obviously, we've kind of discovered that obviously this person comes from a broken home, clearly, and has a lot of issues.
Right, yeah.
And
broken home,
whoever
mom and dad live separate.
Yeah, whoever this person or child is, I hope that, nothing bad has happened to them or to their parents.
Yeah,
since writing this, it's
And if your name is Maggie and you have told your friend that you can have their mom whacked, you might want to not be sharing those ideas around.
Well, and it kind of makes you wonder, the kind of friends this individual has, and the kind of people that she or he surrounds himself with.
Right.
That's almost willing to go out to sit there and say, at such a young age, if it is a young person, to say, hey, I can have your mom whacked. I mean, that's kind of dark.
And then to turn around and write it in your notebook, like entry number 1. Hey, most people when they're going to start a journal, it's because they feel like they need to write down some ideas. I get that.
Well, you write a lot in a journal.
No, I don't write in journals. I've never journaled.
Oh, I thought you had a notepad. No, that's for shows.
That's
never mind.
Ideas.
Never mind.
That's just my idea notebook.
Okay.
I do carry around a notebook all the time with ideas and stuff in it. But as far as a formal journaling type of thing, I think I tried it years and years ago. But I'm just not an avid journalist. I just journaler. I don't know which one would be the right word. So basically, as I'm reading this, like I said, I finished reading it. I'm like, I've just been transported. I completely forgot I was in the middle of a junkyard because I'm just like, what the hell is this person got to be going through to feel like this is the only thoughts. I have no other identifying details about this person.
The one thing I find interesting is that we now live in a society where most children, if it is a child, seem to want to divulge their thoughts onto some sort of social media platform. We see that a lot. So for somebody to write this into a journal rather than posting it on social media,
that's old school stuff, right?
It's kind of old school. So it kind of puts into question, how old is that journal?
Yeah. Okay. Well, think about this.
Again. Like you said, we could always contact the company to find out when that specific notebook or design was published and kind of get a kind of a time frame of when that happened.
That's interesting. You mentioned there was a thought I had just a minute ago. Oh, so the idea also is usually if people are having suicidal thoughts or they're thinking about doing stuff, they're not typically going to go and just announce it to the world. Those type of people tend to be the ones that are just doing it for attention, right? The people that are like, I'm going to kill myself, I'm cutting myself, la la la, look at me, I need the attention.
I don't think that person's wanting to hurt themselves.
Yeah, I don't think this person was wanting to hurt themselves, but I'm just saying there's a certain privacy aspect to this. You don't write things in a notebook unless, the reason she didn't go to social media for perhaps.
Right, yeah.
A, maybe she didn't have access to social media.
True.
Very possible. Or B, she really just wanted these thoughts to herself. Mm-hmm. So part of me, the dark side of me goes, this is already a really dark story.
Yeah.
We got to entry number 2. How the fuck did this notebook end up being left in this truck, the only personal belonging that I could identify on a quick glance?
This is probably the biggest cliffhanger of any 400-page book I've written.
Did one of this,
or read.
Did this child's parents discover this notebook? And that's why there's only,
I think there's so many probable ways this could have ended, but we'll never know.
So many questions I have. Why is this notebook the only personal belonging in that truck?
It is
Why
kind of
is
strange,
that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the other stuff was already taken out. Maybe the notebook was just, I don't know. Maybe as they were cleaning out their vehicle, they saw this notebook and went, "Oh, this is," and it threw it out. I don't know. I have no idea. But it just makes you. It just gets me so many questions. How is
it's the quickest cliffhanger of any book I've ever read or somebody has read to me.
It's just amazing I need to know more. It's amazing how many details you can get in 2 pages.
Yeah.
Of the thoughts
your mind wanders in a place where it's constantly running different scenarios of what could have happened. Is this individual okay? Did they get more help? What happened to the mom? Is the dad still treating this individual poorly? Do they still have an eating disorder? You know,
yeah. Have any of these problems been solved? Has anything escalated beyond that?
Yeah.
Did her mom get eaten by the pigs? I don't know. Did she go back to Maggie the next day and be like, you know what? This bitch need to go.
Man,
you know?
it's like now I kind of want to dig into this myself. It's, you know, I mean, if you kind of do a search within a 50-mile radius of that scrapyard, you know, this is clearly it's got to be a vehicle that was brought in. Either that was wrecked, repossessed of some sort, or just quit running, and then they try to move their personal belongings out of that vehicle into another. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
You could spend the $2 and go back up there and inspect further.
But I wouldn't mind.
Check this out. So you, right before we started recording, I pointed out to you that I noticed on entry number 3, it's blank, but if you look real careful, you can actually see. Can you see that? If you look real careful, you can see where something was written and was then erased, right? So we might have a little more details here if we can read that. Can you make any of that out?
The first word looks like it's an RECGH. The second, I need a better light. Sometimes if you there's a way to do this where you can highlight.
I got an idea.
Okay.
You know how sometimes they'll take the
you lightly brush over it.
Pencil lead real light over it.
Yeah.
So what do you say I try that?
Yeah, because where the indentation is in the paper, if you do it real lightly, it doesn't actually go into the crease of where where it was written. Is it working?
I'm gonna see if I can.
You got to do it very, very lightly.
I can see on the next page where they wrote entry 3 with a pen, and it was really hard writing. Like they pushed pretty hard on the pen, but this is pencil.
Yeah.
I'm almost concerned if I do this, if it's not imprinted enough, it doesn't look like there's any indentations on the page.
No, I think you have to do it on the back side of the paper.
Okay, let me try that. I don't want to accidentally ruin.
Yeah, don't do that.
The little bit of detail we may have. Let me try this real light. I've got the broad side of this pencil. I'm going over it, trying.
Because if that paper was pushed, and you start to barely, graze the backside of it with the pencil, it should make those letters stand out.
All right, I just did a small section.
Okay. Let me see.
I can't see anything on that.
All right, no, I can't either.
This is crazy.
Okay. So what I think we ought to do is try to, because there is some pencil left on this paper.
I can get a bright flashlight. Maybe that'll.
I see my.
Hey, hold on. Let me get a bright flashlight.
Okay. It looks like the first word might read Riley. It's RECGALL, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let me do this. Dude, this is like so weird. We need answers. I can't do it that way. Well, I was trying to do this. No, that doesn't work. Let me.
All right, so there's your flashlight.
Recall.
Right, there's your flashlight. Are you picking up words?
Yeah, it's recall. It's RECALL.
Okay.
I recall. Hang on. Some of the words I can't actually see or make out. I recall how. No. That's clearly an H. That's an A.
Have.
Because this person's handwriting was so bad.
Yeah, even if you can make it out, the letters, it's still like there's a couple words even that I had to kind of.
I don't know, dude. This was going to be a hard one to figure out.
No, let me see. Let me try.
Ooh, my eyes.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Take off the old glasses for the up close.
Now you can see the first
that.
letter.
I recall that.
Yeah.
I recall that. Dang. Wish I could read this.
I'm telling you, dude, it's just like it's that page is leaving you wanting more. And it's like we're right there to see if there's anything else, any other kind of context.
I think I see Maggie again.
Yeah, I did see an M, but AGG. I think it's on the second or third line.
Good
or is
Lord.
it the first?
Okay, so here's the deal. If any of you
can decipher this, that'd be great.
can give us a method, or if you know somebody who is an expert in this,
yes, please drop a link or contact us.
Yes, put us in touch with this person, because we would love to know some more details of this story.
Yeah.
Again, and if you are the one who wrote this journal and you're watching, please reach out to us on our website at unframeofmind.com. Yes. I would love to know more. We'd love to hear your story, because you clearly have something going on that you need to tell the world.
I don't know if it's the
maybe
world,
not the world.
But
I don't know. We could
personally.
I guess we could even do it privately.
Yeah.
If anyway, doesn't have to be a show. I am genuinely curious though. But anyway,
and concerned too.
So I guess any ideas are welcome. You've been watching another episode of the Unframe of Mind show,
obviously.
and
All right,
yeah,
guys.
have a good one.
See ya.